There's a village south of Chicago called Dolton Village. I have been seeing little bits and pieces of what a mayor there is doing. You might have seen the storyline that a mayor locks out her city council, whatever they call it, locks out her city council member of her office because they've got this disagreement going on over policy, believe it or not. Well, there's all kinds of other storylines going on. The shenanigans are endless in Village of Dolton. We're going to get into it. Let's go. I mean, we've got stuff just willy-nilly being thrown around. Here we go. We're going to watch a quick video. It's actually not a quick video. It's about a 13-minute video. I could piece all this together, but Nate, the lawyer, YouTuber, he's on his way to 1 million, just like I am, but he's further ahead. Give Nate, the lawyer, a subscribe, because he's got this video. I had all these other storylines lined up, and then somebody sent me this video that dials it all in. Less talking from Sean. Let's watch it. Here we go.
Okay, people, this is probably one of the craziest stories you're going to hear about a corrupt mayor. First, watch this clip.
Nobody knows something. Don't nobody know nothing.
Tiffany Henyard certainly isn't shy about attracting attention. Here she is starting a Dolton Village board meeting.
I'm only going to stop it a couple of times. But over here, we got Wesley Snipes' as New Jack City. That's probably my top 3 gangsta movies of all time. You got Wesley Snipes from White Men Can't Jump. You've got Chris Rock was Pookie, drug addict turned informant. You've got Ice-T as a cop. You've got Judd Nelson as a cop. That's an epic movie. But anyway, this is your mayor dressed up as a crack cocaine dealer at a council meeting.
Dressed like the Wesley Snipes character in the movie New Jack City, later punctuating her political points with the help of her own DJ.
Every single resident. Pay me what you owe me. Thank you, DJ.
Now, if starting a town
Thank you, DJ.
as a crack
DJ
dealing gangster isn't enough, check this out.
Furious after a Fox 32 investigation found this registered child sex offender on the public payroll.
A sex offender, you don't give them carte blanche to go into different people's homes.
46-year-old LEL Redmond is
not reasonable.
Friends with Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who in September hired Redmond as a code enforcement officer without the village board's approval. Redmond served 25 years in prison for the brutal gang rape and beating of 2 young
That's a long sentence.
in the 1990s, and was arrested and charged after our first story aired for violating the reporting requirements of the sex offender registry. Mayor Henyard says her friend deserves a second chance, infuriating a number of Dolton residents. Fox 32 has also obtained this cell phone video showing Redmond interacting with the mayor and little children at a back-to-school event in Dolton. Notice the badge on his waist.
So you got that? He literally hired a child blank offender to go into people's homes under the color of law. And that person is hanging out with children. Crazy. Crazy.
Wacky.
And, I hate to say but wait, there's more. But wait,
there's more.
See, the mayor went on I would like to call it a spending spree. And what do I mean by a spending spree? I mean going out and just throwing away the town's money. For instance,
making it rain.
She had to get called
making it
out by
rain.
the local town city council because she spent $148,000 on a Chevy Tahoe. Now,
shenanigans.
Is a Chevy Tahoe generally cost? Now, I went to Chevy.com and said, well, how much is the most expensive Chevy Tahoe on the market? The Chevy Tahoe, this is the fully loaded 4-wheel drive Super, right?
Mac Daddy.
This one, manufacturer suggested retail price of $79,295. This is the top of the line model. This is what you get if you got some money. Yep. Now listen to how much the mayor didn't buy it for, but leased it for. Listen to this price.
Shenanigans.
I looked at a lease. The child's paying $149.
This is great
for one of them trucks. You make that's like when you 19 years old and you go get a car and the interest rate 27%.
That makes absolutely no sense. You're
Please
not
stay
making
facts.
None.
finance. Excuse me.
Please stay facts.
But let me tell you, here it is, dated December 27th, 2022. The cash price of a 2023 Chevy Tahoe, $93,216.71. Interest and APR, $55,929.49. Total lease price, $149,146.20.
I'll take it.
Because your signature is all on it.
I don't see that.
Okay, but you want me to pass?
I don't.
All right.
I'll
But
get
that's it.
I don't see it. That is that is a Sergeant Schultz right there. I see nothing. I hear nothing. Nope. Yep. Nope. We're going to ignore that. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's not about going back and forth with you. It's about making financial decisions that is in the benefit of everybody and just not one person. And you
There you
can't
go.
seem to understand that.
Yeah, that's double the price, right? Double the price. It's about 70-something thousand, and they're spending 150,000 not to own it, but to lease it. Insanity. Now we have more. We have so much
Not
more
reasonable.
to talk about 'cause
Yeah,
it's insane.
we're
But let me
just literally just getting going here.
This is Tiffany Henyard. She's 37 and she was elected the youngest mayor in Dolton history. And she was elected in 2021. Here is her election stuff.
The new mayor says she has big plans for the Village of Dolton. She wants to boost the economy and curb crime.
Are you ready to take your oath?
Yes.
This is a village south of Chicago. It's South Chicago by a fair amount. After the video, I'll show you where it's located.
Tonight, Dolton's new mayor, Tiffany Henyard, sworn in.
Dolton residents, I am reporting for duty.
Henyard, now the first woman and the youngest person to ever be elected mayor of the South Suburb.
Tiffany didn't just shatter that ceiling. She brought it all the way down.
Now, as the super mayor, you need a super mayor security detail. So you have local police. Why not just have them be your 24-hour private security service? That's what this mayor did, paying them exorbitant, crazy amounts of overtime. Listen to how much overtime these officers are getting. And then we'll come back on the other side.
Henyard began assembling her details shortly after being elected in.
It's all Fox covering this.
Dolton police officers.
Nobody else.
Using a Freedom of Information request, we obtained the
Weird.
work records for 6 of the officers assigned to Henyard's security detail at various times. The officers are paid every 2 weeks, which without overtime is 80 hours. But when they're put on Henyard's detail, that 80 hours balloons to well over 100 hours, sometimes 200 hours. And in the case of Officer Terry Young last May, 303 hours worked over a 2-week period. That resulted in a single paycheck of more than $13,000. In fact, there were 336 hours total in 2 weeks, meaning Young was not being paid for only 33 hours over that period.
So do you really understand how crazy that is? There's only 300
Shenanigans.
every 2 weeks. Total. If you just every day, 24 hours a day, just do the math. So that means on average, if you do the math, he only wasn't paid for 2 hours every day. So he was paid for essentially 22 hours.
That's a hard working security dude. Yeah.
Did he not sleep?
No.
Did he not, there's no lunchtime, no nothing?
Nope. No bathroom breaks.
And people want to say, I think this is legit. I'll approve 303 hours in a 2-week period. What? So then the town board said, you know what? We need to have some oversight of this mayor. And guess what the mayor did? She locked them out of the building so they couldn't meet. They had to meet on the street. You think I'm joking? Check this out.
No, we believe you.
The mayor locking the trustees out of Village Hall tonight, forcing them to have a meeting out in the parking lot, all of which has Dolton residents shaking their heads in disbelief.
We had a quorum, we had the clerk, and we had a board meeting outside.
Why the pushback on her part, you think?
Well, there's things on the agenda that she doesn't want us to pass.
So what's there for the mayor to do? Well, hey, they can't meet, so let me go spend some more of their money in Las Vegas. check this out.
And then there are the trips to Las Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
And other top officials traveled to Sin City in May to attend a shopping center conference. It's unclear if it helped Dolton land any deals.
Don't have a clue. We're all in the dark. Not only are the residents in the dark, but the trustees are also in the dark as well.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
You know how to use them.
Are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas?
Lie. Let's watch that again. Look at that. Let's watch that again.
With credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas?
She's smiling. She knows she's looking over at somebody else. What do I say?
You don't know.
What is that?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Did you?
What? We've got receipts. They're all billed to the city. What are you talking about?
Fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
Actually, yes. The credit card records do shed some light on tax dollars spent at several restaurants near the Strip, including Cafe Hollywood and Hot and Juicy Crawfish.
Oh, that sounds good.
Questions?
So you're not going to answer how taxpayer dollars are being spent? That seems odd.
I just answered it. What do you mean? I just answered
what?
Questions.
You said you wouldn't answer about Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You asked me a question and I responded. So any other questions you may have?
On everything from steak dinners to hotels.
How do you think those answers would stand up in court? Do you think a judge would let her get away with that? Just completely deflecting any type of answer. I answered you. Not with a real answer.
$41 just on Henyard's round-trip flight.
Right? But I shouldn't have to sit up here and break all this down.
When trustees refused to pay a big block of bills this week, the mayor accused them of putting vital city services in jeopardy.
We need receipts to understand what's going on.
Now, I know what you all are thinking. Why? Because I know my fans. You guys are thinking, well, why not just recall the damn mayor, right? And get her out of there. They tried that and it failed. Check this out.
Now to campaign 2022. In a recall fight in Chicago's south suburbs, people in the village of Dolton voted to kick the mayor out of office.
Now, shockingly, the mayor won. The mayor went to court after she was recalled and won.
How y'all doing? Ain't no stopping us now.
All right, karaoke night apparently at City Hall. That's Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard kicking off tonight's board meeting with her rendition of the 1979 hit Ain't No Stopping Us Now.
As you do.
For the throwback jam, an appellate court ruling threw out a June recall vote that would have removed Henyard from office.
So this is a law channel, and I have to explain to you why she actually won. So in a state like California, being able to recall a politician is in the Constitution. So there's no issue there, right? You just want to recall you. That's it. In Illinois, they don't have any such mechanism. So at the local level, the local trustees would have to have created that rule, created the mechanism to recall the mayor, which they did. Now, the law provides that when you put that on the ballot, are we going to recall this mayor? The people then have to vote on that. And if that's approved, then you have to have another election to actually recall the mayor. But in this particular case, they did both in the same election. They had the vote to establish being able to recall the mayor, and then they had the vote to actually recall the mayor all in one shot. So the court said, well, that is unconstitutional. You first have to establish the mechanism to remove the mayor, and then have another election 6-7 months later to actually remove the mayor by that mechanism. It's unconstitutional to do them at the same time. So super mayor won and now is able to serve out her term until the next election. All right. So it's kind of like, what do these people do, right? They tried to get rid of this mayor. They can't, right? Because they messed up in the process. The police have this mayor back. They're doing whatever she says do. Kick this person out, lock this person out. They're doing her bidding. The mayor has total control over the town. She's spending all their money and they're not even able to recall her. So it's like you're in a bind if you're in that town. I would say hopefully they would start the process again. First, establish that they can recall the mayor or whoever else and then put it up to a vote like 6-7 months later and get this person out of here. But if you think about it, time might be short because she was elected in 2021. So she gets 4 years. 2025 is when she's out. And we're at the end of 2023. You would literally have to have that vote now and then wait a couple of months and vote her out. But by that time, she may be voted out anyway. So the people of Dolton are kind of stuck with this madness and we'll see what happens later. But what do you think should happen to the super mayor? I'm honestly thinking
the super mayor.
Eventually somebody's going to get inside there, dig into the books, find out a lot of this stuff is just not in the up and up. And the super mayor may have some legal issues that she's going to have to deal with because as of right now, things don't.
That is some funny stuff. I mean, what do you say to any of that, right? You're like, that is just some blatant abuse of public office. The only thing that she, that I thought of is she didn't do a big shopping spree with the city money in Vegas. I mean, shopping in Vegas, come on now. I mean, you had some meals, but yet those meals, all right, you've got a bunch of your, officials from your town. That is a legit expense. Vegas for whatever. I mean, you think we're just going to go to the shop. Let's go to the shopping organization of shopkeepers, whatever that might have been. But, and she's not the only one. I'm not justifying her behavior, but, as far as legitimate expenses, questionable, right? Highly, highly questionable. So I thought this one was just so wild because I've kind of been hearing bits and pieces about this, but I've never put it all together. And there are, I promised I'd show you where this is located. Where is Dolton? And it's Dolton. It's not Dalton, like from, what's the bouncer movie? Oh man, whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So here's Chicago and here is Dolton, southern Chicago suburb, fairly far south, right? Fairly far south. Yeah. No, wait a minute. Gosh darn it. I don't have it on here. You can't see it. Now you can. There you go. Here's Dolton. There's Chicago. Yeah. Wild stuff. So they literally had her recalled and she had her attorneys look at the recall process and they're like, hey, wait a minute. And that the city tried to hustle the thing along because this mayor is just so outside of the box. I mean, just so blatantly abusing her power. I mean, it's pretty clear. 100 and whatever that was for a car that you leased. I mean, seriously, how do you expect the residents? This is not a huge town, by the way, not a huge town, not a huge village, I should say. Population 21,426. I'm just looking at a 2020 census. So, $150K for an SUV. I mean, is that bulletproof? Do you need it because somebody's going to take you out? What's going on there? Now, this is just wild abuse of a politician in Chicago. So we hear about politics in Chicago. We hear about politics and all over being dirty. This is one of those examples. How about the security officer, police officer, off-duty cop, whatever he was? I mean, he's just bad. Was he, what one of my thoughts was? Well, maybe it's her boyfriend and she's living with them and he's like providing, 22 hours of security. He's literally sleeping with her, protecting her. No idea. Probably not, right? I don't even know if she's married or single, whatever. Don't care. But You got some disco music going on there. The whole New Jack City thing. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and that's saying portraying Wesley Snipes. That is not a good look, because Wesley Snipes ran a massive drug organization in urban, it was New York, right? New York City, New Jack City. And it was when the crack epidemic happened. That was horrific, right? So you are literally saying, hey, this is what we got going on. So she's trying to get that vote that maybe doesn't necessarily fall within the confines of the law-abiding citizenry. She got elected, and she will probably make it through her term. Sounds like she's got probably some, savvy lawyers, and the city doesn't necessarily have the savviest of lawyers, because otherwise they probably wouldn't have tried to run that recall the way that they did it. But it was a situation where all of the constituents within that village are like, hey, get her out of here. Just do whatever you got to do to get her out of here. And so they rushed through this process. And in doing that, they lost their ability because they got an appellate court to say, nope, unconstitutional, throw that bad boy out. Now she's got enough time where she can probably skate to the end of her term. But we'll be keeping an eye out on this. If you see something on this story, if you see something out there on this story, let me know, because those are some oppressive, wildly out in the open examples of what here on News for Reasonable People we call shenanigans. Those were legit shenanigans going on by an elected official. That's all I'm going to say about that one. All right. Thanks so much for being here. I'd love to have you subscribe, all that stuff. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.